What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now today, I'm going to have to do a retraction of my short the other day. Let's go ahead and say it. Start up the crematorium, reseal that coffin. The old lady's dead. The UCL is gone. What do we have to look forward with Max Allegri? Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconerizonechannel. My name is Justin Sofer, and today it is, of course, Wednesday, October 26, 2022. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the things you need to know. First off, before we do anything, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now, without any further ado, let's just get into it. What do we have for your updates today? Well, of course, going into the match, it was obviously UCL, an embarrassment, an absolute travesty for Juventus and the performance that they gave in the Champions League. And I want to be very clear, before we really get this thing started, I went into this match saying I didn't care. I didn't care about the outcome because the outcome didn't change anything for me. I think, yes, Juventus could have gone in and could have won at Benfica, and then they would have been walking a steadier path, but at the same time, you really have to rely on Maccabi Haifa to upset somebody else, upset a PSG, upset Benfica, do something to help you out. And then Juve have also got to do their job, somehow finding a way to beat a PSG team that looks, I mean, they're finally starting to click a little bit, and then especially given the talent level that they have compared to Juve's, let's be honest, it didn't look like it was going to happen. I don't know what else to say from there except for just it was a disappointment. I think even though I went into this match not really caring about how the outcome came, they found a way to still disappoint me. And that is impressive. That is an impressive feat by Max Allegri to still disappoint me when I have no expectations, when I do not care about the game, and when I do not really care that much about the outcome, because I feel like in the end it did not matter. Yes, all eyes are on Serie A, and now they definitely are now, because otherwise you're caring about Europa League. Who really cares about Europa League? That's fine. Juve, go make Europa, get whatever money you get from there. But at the same time, you are Juventus. You should have higher expectations, and the club should have higher expectations. Do they have higher expectations? Well, today we'll kind of cover that and see what you think about the club's expectations following the latest bit of news surrounding Max Allegri. Okay, let's get into it. First off, let's go ahead and talk about this. Vlahovic left the pitch yesterday with an adductor problem. Goal Italia is reporting. So there you go. One of Juventus' star players now has an issue. It has an injury, and the injury issues continue to compile and grow. And right when you think that everybody else is going to come back and get healthy, Vlahovic could be gone for a little bit. So we'll see how long, once that's evaluated, how serious it looks. But anyway, another injury for Juventus. Go figure. All right, let's continue on, though, from that. And we have an update giving some news from Paulo, who gave you some statistics, not good ones. You'd be surprised, right? Or who would have guessed there would be negative statistics about Juventus? Well, Paulo says that Juventus will not access the knockout stage of the Champions League for their first time since the 2013-2014 season. I was 23 years old. That's telling you, right? Juventus have only won 3 points after their first 5 games in the UCL this term, their lowest tally at the stage in the competition. Glacial. And what a perfect word to describe this Juventus squad and this Juventus coaching. Glacial. Literally glacial. Traumatic. Well, I don't know what else to say. It is literally... Whew. There you go. All right, let's continue on. Now, I want to focus more in on the coach, the guy who should be right in your target, right in the crosshairs right there, for the guy who you think should be taken down, right? Take him down a little bit. Well, let's see what Max Allegri had to say following the match that was for Juventus, and then where do we go from here? All right, Max Allegri, his comments that he used to open up the talk about the match and how it occurred. We had the wrong approach, but we were soft on the goals. At 4-1, we took a risk, and there was a good reaction at the end. Already in the first half, we had opportunities. I want to stop you right there. I'm not even going to get through the entire graphic before I have to stop you right there, Max Allegri. Do not tell me that you took a risk. Bullshit. You did not take a risk. That is not what happened. What happened yesterday was you got to that point and you said, bleep it. I bend the knee to Benfica. It's done. I don't care. We are losing. That's what you said. You bent the knee, and you know what you did? You let all these dinosaurs, all the old dinosaur players, Bonucci, whoever, yada, 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 all off the hook. You took them out. You let them off the hook because they were giving a absolute horrendous performance. Your captain, Bonucci, who I've kind of taken up for him a little bit. I haven't been as abhorrently like hating on him as everybody else has. But that was the final straw. If it hadn't already been pulled months ago, that was the final straw. Bonucci, you were the captain. You were supposed to be the leader of this club, and you are probably arguably the worst player on the pitch that day. 2 of those goals given up thanks to you. Bonucci. Chiellini would never. He's rolling over in his grave. I know he's in America, but you know what I mean. He would be, right? My other part of this is you put it on the youth. That's what you did. You tried to let them go take the shrapnel. You put it on the youth. You put Minetti in, you put Sule in, you put Illing Jr., you put it out on those guys. Did you have an expectation that they would be able to do what they did? Thank you, Siri. Did you have an expectation that they would do what they did and bringing some scoring out there, bringing an energy level that was missing? I don't believe that for one flipping second. No way am I believing that. You 100% put those guys in and you just threw them under the bus. And that's what you did. You cannot argue that to me. I don't think you were trying to win the game. I think you were just trying to let them play it out. Not happy about it. Didn't like it. Give them their shot from the beginning. If you do, maybe you have a better Juventus squad. And I guess now I'm fully in on the youth train. Guys, I've joined you. Primavera, let's go. That's what we're doing. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this one up. All right. I am happy with the youngsters. He said they have quality. Minetti played a lot of games, and Sule and Illing came in well. They gave the mental energy that the team needed. Cool. They bailed you out. They bailed you out when you needed it. You thought you were, again, I don't need to repeat myself. Continue on. Allegri, number 2. What else did he have to say? We are sorry to be out of the Champions League. Now we think about the championship. We restart from the last 20 minutes and try to win against Lecce. In the league, we have 4 games before the break. Now we have to recover energy, and those I have at my disposal, we have to do well. I don't love this. Here's the thing. Chiesa, how long are you going to keep Chiesa out of play? How long are we going to continue to drag this thing out? If it's a match that doesn't matter, fine. At least tell us the Benfica match didn't matter. At least say that when you're going into it, because I don't believe for a second that you didn't think it mattered. You just put up a piss poor performance. I also be wary. I want to be very weary for fans when they go through this, because what's going to happen is this spin that's going to be coming out. Juve are going to go out there. They're going to beat Lecce. You're going to get 3 points. We're going to start feeling a little bit better because you beat a bottom tier team, a City B team. Start feeling a little bit better about yourself. You're going to do it again, and then you're going to play against Inter. You play against Inter, and then when that bleep storm happens, then we're going to have to go, we'll get set back a little bit, but then there'll be more back in afterwards. Just be careful about it. Be aware of what's happening. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. All right, let's continue on. The third thing he had to say, and this is kind of the part that I wanted to talk about. Max Allegri said, until the match with Inter, we will hardly recover players. You know what he's doing? That's what he's doing. It's what he's doing. He's inserting excuses, excuse after excuse after excuse, and whatever it can to drag this out so he can steal more money from the club. And that's what he's doing. Let's not even try to fool ourselves. He's stealing money from the club, and that's what it is. And the club's okay with it. The club is okay with being robbed by Max Allegri right now. And this one speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. I don't know what to say. Max Allegri on October 25th, 2022, following an embarrassing defeat, which really should have been much, much worse at the hands of Benfica. They could have had a couple more goals. You could argue Juve could have had a couple more goals, but overall, Benfica could have had more goals, and they could have buried Juventus even more than they already did. I thought it was going to look like Barcelona, the 8-2 game against Bayern. That's what I thought was going to happen. Anyway, he says failure, no. This is not a failure to Max Allegri. Max Allegri does not believe that what he did in the performance in the Champions League is a failure. And I understand, I do want to be clear, I've said on this channel that I don't really care about the outcome of the Champions League, mostly because you get to the round of 16 and then you bail out. But it's a piss poor performance when you're not even doing that. You can't even get to the round of 16 because you're too busy losing games to Maccabi Haifa and then looking like this against Benfica. And I understand Benfica is a team. They're not a bad team. They're not a bad squad. They're not a bad club with history. But at the same time, what you have here right now is a Juventus club who we're expecting to be, top 10, top 7, top 5, whatever, all time in the world. And you're losing to Benfica. Getting run off the field by Benfica. It's embarrassing. And if the club doesn't think this is a failure, I don't know what to tell you. Then the club's dead. Let's let a man who was here when the club wasn't dead, let's let him speak. Let's get his thoughts and his opinions. Alessandro Del Piero comes out and he said, the last 20 minutes gave a glimpse of hope because we saw fighting and scoring goals. But the overall reflection of the game is very bad. And this is Alessandro Del Piero being nice. He's being nice. He's trying to play positive. He's trying to be the friendly guy. He's the lovable uncle right now. That's what he's doing. He's being nice, but he's also telling you the truth that you know. This is bad. It ain't good. This isn't Juventus. He goes on to say the first half was dominated by Benfica, as was part of the second. Juve had a chance at 4-4, but it's also true that they had a chance at 5. For large stretches, Benfica dominated. Again, sugar with the salt. That's what he's doing. Giving you a little honey with the vinegar, if you will. But again, this ain't good enough. You need to get back to Del Piero kind of football. All right, let's continue on, though, and let's talk about what is the club going to do from here? It couldn't be more clear, right? It can't be more clear. Nothing can be more laid out in front of you than to say that his time's done. He's got to go. You cannot continue like this with a Max Allegri football plan, which is just roll the balls out there, do nothing, and then pray. That's what we're going to do, right? So what's the club going to do? Is it time to make a move? Are they ready to make a move? Nico Skinner says Allegri will not resign, and the Juventus management will not sack him after the UCL exit. No balls. No care. No standards. That's the club. That's the club right now. I'm sorry. That is the club. If you disagree with me, tell me. Explain to me what else can I take from this? What else can I take from this? And I'm tired of hearing about money being the issue. I'm not here for the financials. I don't need to hear the financials talk. Because this is how bad it gets when you talk about financials. This is what it is. This is exactly what happened entire last summer. This is why Juventus got the players they got. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. Financials. Let's talk about financials. Anyway, forward together, at least until the World Cup. During the break, the club will make an initial assessment of the coach's work. I'll do it for you. It's shit. Just drop a deuce right at the Conasa. That's what it is. All right. We continue on. Fabrizio Romano has a follow-up report as well, who says that there are no changes on Massimiliano Allegri's situation. He won't be fired now, and he's not going to leave the club as things stand, despite the defeat against Benfica. Agnelli confirmed his intention to continue with Allegri. Current deal expires in June of 2025. So right now, the club's being held hostage. The club's being held hostage by Max Allegri in his contract, and also by Agnelli at this point. We talked about Agnelli. Is it his time? Does he need to go? Does he need to step down? I don't want to say yes to that, but at this point, the more and more that this continues to drag on and the worse it gets for Juventus, the more money they lose. This ain't helping the financial situation. If you cared about the financial situation, I know we talked about it. We debated about wins in the Champions League and how important that is. You're not getting them. So guess what? What are you doing? Why aren't guys like Chiesa being played? How long can you be safe? I know why you want to be safe. The only reason you want to be safe is so that Chiesa can be your out. So you can say, oh, you can't play. Oh, if we had Chiesa, sorry, I keep hitting the mic. If I had Chiesa, then we'd be in a better situation. But I just don't have healthy guys. Like, get the hell out of here. I'm not here for that. Anyway, Max Allegri, he's got to go. Max Allegri out. I don't know. And I don't want to hear. I'm not going to be here for the buyback. I'm not here for the buyback against Lecce. I'm not. Let's continue on. 2 other important stories we have to get to today. I know I'm usually the positive guy, but it is what it is when the situation is out as it is. Let's continue on. Romeo Gnesti has a report saying that that Illing Jr. actually may stay with the club. We thought he was going to be moving outward, but right now there's still potential. And especially if you saw how he played coming in there in that role, it's hard to argue that he's not better than a lot of players that Juventus already have. The youth overall brought in energy that the players, the dinosaur players that Max Allegri continues to play, do not have. Juventus are working on Illing Jr.'s contract renewal. Optimism and confidence are increasing. So keep an eye on that. We'll see if he ends up staying with the club or not. I believe he came from Chelsea, correct? And then the final, I guess, big news of the day. And again, another, I'm patting myself on the back for giving my my prognostications. Maybe I'm psychic. I don't know. Also, Julian, right there with me. And that is this report coming out from Nico Schietta, conversations that Di Maria had to Conmebol, I believe. I apologize if I butchered. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. If you're going to come at me about pronunciations on here, it's an English channel. You can shove your pronunciations right up your ass. All right, let's continue. That's how I am. Am I feisty today? I'm a little feisty. Am I a little feisty? Why am I feisty? I wonder why I might be feisty as a Juventus fan, right? All right. Angel Di Maria to Conmebol. My great dream is to return to Rosario Central. I have been hoping for a long time. It's not easy, but I'd love to. The players in Argentina dream of future in Europe, while I dream of return to Rosario. He could already leave Juventus in January. Again, I am absolutely killing it on these prognostications when it comes to Juventus. Unfortunately, they're all negative, but I've been accurate. When I talked about where's Juventus finishing, I said 5th place. Right now, that looks way more possible than a top 4 finish does. Honestly, probably below 5th place looks more possible right now. I don't think it will, but at the same time, keep an eye on that. But let's go back to this, though. What did Julian and I say? And everybody else, the buy-in, Di Maria, he's here. Oh, he's probably going to sign up for a second year. No, he's not. All he ever wanted was a stopgap. All he ever wanted, all he ever cared about was a stopgap to get him from here to the World Cup. He plays the World Cup. He's done, son. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be at this club. He'd rather have been at Barcelona if he had the opportunity, but he's not. And I've been the knee to him. Di Maria, when he does play, to me, he looks like one of the better players. He has abilities that most of the other team does not have. But he hasn't been healthy for any of them. The entire Mercado this last summer was a failure. It was an absolute failure. It was an atrocity. I stand by that. You can't tell me that bringing in Pogba hasn't played a damn game. You can't tell me that bringing Di Maria in missed what, 75, 80% of the season? Getting red cards for bowing people in the face. Great signing. He's a good player, but he ain't playing. Kostic, he hasn't lived up to bleep. Everybody's been hyping Kostic for how long? Kostic is what we told you he was. Anyway, this is where the club is right now. I'm not happy with it. We're frustrated. Do I also blame Di Maria right now for wanting to get out given the circumstances? No, I don't. It's hard not to. If you were a player for this club right now, tell me what it is that makes you want to stay. Because they're not doing the leadership. The guys who are supposed to be leading are not doing their job. Bonucci's not doing his job. And Yelly's not doing his job. Allegri's not doing his job. At some point, the leadership's got to change. At some point, one of those guys has to be the leader. And Yelly, it's your turn. It's time to move on. Get Allegri out of here. Whatever you have to do. At least show us a good faith effort. A good faith effort is Allegri's gone, you put in Montero, and then Conte comes in the summer. I know that's easier said than done, especially given that Tottenham and Paratici want to pay him, and they want to keep him. Why? Because he's a damn good coach. But I think there's only one guy who can save Juventus right now, and I truly believe it's Antonio Conte. Time for him to better his relationship with the club. Time for everything to work out in the end. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you agree or disagree? Am I being a little bit too negative? Am I being too harsh? Feel free to let me know that in the comment section. If you haven't already, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter. You can follow Julian Genotti at Genotti151. And of course, you can follow Alejandro BZ, or Alejandro at Alejandro BZ on Twitter as well. And of course, the main account, bianconerizone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I will see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.